welcome, people. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Actually, it is good evening from the Carlo, New Brunswick here in Canada. It is 7:10 p.m. And wherever you're watching us from, I feel like some people it's good morning, I should say. For some, I should say good afternoon. And for us here in North American region, I say good evening, people. Welcome yet back to another episode of the week that was. It's a show where we just take a look back to the week that happened in the world of sport as well, focusing, putting the searchlight and the spotlight on Manchester United, which is the team we support, right? And I won't be doing it alone today. I've got my buddy in the house with me. I've got Tesh today. Gonna bring up Tesh. Tesh, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
it's another week. It's another week of football, another week of sports. Yeah, it's one would say it is yeah, it's can we say it is a beautiful week, right?
So far, so
Beautiful
far,
so
so
far,
good.
so far. Yeah, no, it's the week that was. So um sorry guys if you've been waiting for long. I think this show was scheduled for
For
7
six
p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m.
6
6
p.m.
p.m.
Eastern. So
Eastern
it
and
just had last minute had technical difficulty here.
test computer decide to go to sleep. Yo, how you doing, Mark? Um, yeah. Oh my days. Yeah. If let me see, Mark, you can come. You can come in, right? I feel you can. Yeah. If you want to, you can come in. You know how to get in. So
Oh, I had my wait for 11 minutes. Sorry, Mark.
so yeah. Like I said, it was a good week for us at United. It was a good week, for not so good week for teams like Chelsea, teams like yeah, especially Chelsea, right? Because yeah, um, yeah. So even for AFCON, it was a good week for Nigeria. We saw Nigeria progress to the round of. I think I'm going to start
Excellent.
off there. Nigeria progressed to the round of the to the next round, which is the semifinals, and yeah, we've got what Nigeria. We got Nigeria. We get no, not Cape Verde, South Africa. We have DRC Congo and we have Ivory Coast. All four teams into the next stage of the knockout round of the African Cup of Nations. Nigeria plays South Africa um in the semi-final, while Ivory Coast play DRC Congo. We're gonna start off with that one. Tesh, what did you make of those countries actually going through to semifinals?
I know, as you know, it's again the Afcon has been interesting. But also, it's also been entertaining. So it's good to see, though. I think so far, I think the countries that qualified, I think they actually deserved it. I know some people might argue, Ivory Coast, they don't, but they deserve it. They worked hard. They came back. They came back from being a goal behind to win the game from normal from in extra time. So I think everyone deserves it. The only team I was basically looking to get to the next stage, which was Cape Verde. Actually, they fell through for with the South Africa and beating them by what they call it in penalties. Very, very poor penalty shootout from both sides, so not just Cape Verde, both sides. But Cape Verde had the worst of it, and they lost. They had majority of chances and couldn't what they call utilize. I think that day is this Sunday. Oh, sorry, Saturday
Yeah.
was a game whereby two teams that dominated went out. So it's weird. So but at the end though, it's good for the competition. Nigeria face South Africa on is it on the 7th? Wednesday, I
On the
believe.
seventh. So speaking of that game, right? What do you feel from what you've seen with the other ones? What do you think would happen in that game?
South
What do you
Africa,
expect to see?
South Africa, Nigeria. I'm fairly confident though. I'm fairly confident. Fairly confident Nigeria will beat South Africa because in that we're looking at Cape Verde didn't take their chances. I think Nigeria would take their chances if they had those chances against South Africa. But I
Mhm,
think Nigerians will play a bit. Nigeria will play a bit differently. Cape
mhm.
Verde basically more possession based, and we don't do that. So it might be. I think we'll edge it. One probably a goal difference, not a huge scoreline out there. Expect again though. So probably a goal difference 2-1, 1-0. But I think Nigeria will edge that one.
Okay, Nigeria would edge that one, he said. So now moving to United, we saw them play. Yeah, we're gonna start with the transfer window that actually the mini, I like to call it mini transfer window that ended up right, and with a lot of outs and no ins, right? If you were to get looking at where the squad is at the moment, if you were to get a player in, which department would you have put that priority? Which department would you have prioritized in terms of a player coming? We know no player came in. That's for a fact. But I was looking at, okay, some people. I was talking with another Omo, and he was looking at if we should have gotten a goalkeeper in, since we're not using the likes of Atley and Tim Horton, Tom Heaton. Before I say Tim Horton, Tom Heaton, right? So do you think the goalkeeper department was one we should have looked at least manage or try to get somebody in that would know might be competent, or do you feel like, yeah, it's okay?
I think the transfer window though, United not getting anything, not getting anyone. If I got your question, because my phone rang and it came to my PC and probably I didn't hear it, but I know you're talking about United and the transfer window, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me, I think we have what we have. We are okay with what we have. I know we're probably we're hoping for a striker. We're hoping for a striker to come in, but I think it's almost like Rasmus came up, and now basically I think it's picking its form at the right time, even though we didn't get anyone, so which I think is good for the team. And overall, though, I think us not getting anyone, it's okay. It's okay. We have a fairly huge squad, not from in terms of quality though. But we
We
have a
think
huge.
we think we have a huge squad.
I think so. I think as injuries, without injuries, we have a very because imagine we have for midfield we have the only where I think we're lacking is the striking position, where Marshall is gone. Normally United, right? If you look at the time of Salas Ferguson, we had Carlos Tevez, we had Rooney, we had I think Berbatov at that time. We always had about three
3 or 4 strikers, yeah.
But even looking at some. Years back, we had Cavani, we had Ronaldo, we had Marshall. So even one time we had, so we've always had what they call them more than one striker. But if we play as a unit, as a team, I think we shouldn't fail that much. Except Hoyland gets injured, then we're probably in big trouble because we don't have any backup. But I think outside that, I would say the window is okay.
So are you okay with the likes of course we saw Pelestri go out on loan to Granada. Of course, Hannibal's gone already.
And they sold this
there's
boy to what's his name? He plays
Isaac Aaron Ansin. He also
yes,
went to
and the
Whether
guy that
Bremen.
plays left back. What's his name again?
That was way back, right? I'm just saying.
Okay.
What's his name? Alvaro.
Alvaro,
Yeah. So the likes of those three, right? Are you okay with those moves in terms of Hannibal? What should we call it? Hannibal. We know, in your opinion, is Hannibal better than
No,
Scott McTominay?
no.
Okay,
No.
good. So that move, Sevilla move, was it? Do you think it was a good move, or do you think he should have gone to another Premier League side like an Everton?
Honestly,
maybe
I think
Forest?
I think it's too big of a move.
To
Yes.
Sevilla, right?
I think probably should have gone to like a championship or something, right? I think Hannibal has to. He has prospect. I think for me, though, and probably that's how I see football. You might actually differ. Is that I don't think it's not calm enough. It's like wax Hannibal is what they call it. It's S. But the thing is that right, it's not calm enough. I don't think he has the quality. Honestly, I know people used to rave about him. I was really concerned. Like I don't know. I don't see that. So I think Hannibal is a good one, probably for him. If it's a good one out, but for his career, I'd have probably told him, please go to like a what do you call it, a lesser side that has that where you don't have, it's not too critical, right? Because Sevilla, they have lots to fight for, right? And they have and in that, right, it's you have to fit in. It's not like you had that leeway. Okay, you know what? We can just manage him. Even though say if you're not playing, we can give him some game time here. They have critical what they call things to fight for, and in that they have to make sure they are picking the best. So I think for him that was a bad move for him personally, though. For Hannibal.
What about what's his name? Aaron, and is it Hansen or Isaac? I like. How about what he's gone to Werder Bremen? He wanted game time. He didn't want to sign a new contract, and United had to make a move because I didn't think I feel like United wanted to give him a contract extension, maybe send him on loan to a championship side or something like that. But but he didn't want to extend his contract. He, in my opinion, he felt like he was too good to go on loan at the championship. He wants to go move permanently, and that would have come, in my opinion, again, would have come from his whatchamacallit, his agent who will be pushing, because this agent sometimes loan move doesn't really guarantee, doesn't profit the agent. Might profit the players, but not the agent. That's one. But if we sell you, if I make a move, get you a permanent move to another club, then from that place you do well and you go to another club. That's how I make money. So it might be, when I looked at it, it might just be fine. It's the player might get his game time and his improvement, right? But also the agent is looking out for himself as well. Does it come across to you like that, or it comes across to you like someone that just wants game time and he knows he's not going to get it at the moment in United?
Again, everyone, if it was that good enough, I probably would have kept him. So if it was that good enough, but probably I think from everyone says the boy has a bit of a quality. Again, it's sometimes you can't keep everyone, right? If it's good, it can go by and go there tomorrow. It can be the best. That's fine. It happened to Musiala. Musiala, so it happens. You can't keep everyone, right? So it's going again. It's good for him if he gets regular game time. Germany seems to be a place whereby the youth players tend to develop, probably because of how the league is played, right? So it's good for him. It's fine. You can't. For me, when I heard that, you can't keep everyone for sure. If he doesn't want to sign the contract, then fine. He doesn't want to sign. I heard there's also a player that probably rejected the contract as well. I've forgotten his name. I'm not sure if it's the new center back we're bringing in.
Willy Kambwala?
Yeah, I think he rejected the first contract offer given to him as well.
No, Mark would be the best person to tell you what the country situation with that is. But Willy Kambwala he's gotten a few games here and there, right? So it shouldn't pose a problem. Maybe he's looking for a more refined contract, maybe more refined proposition and all of that in his contract, or find his contract. So but if he's looking also to want to go play elsewhere, I don't fault them. I'd say go get football. Now, Mark is saying bring Greenwood back. I'm just gonna ask you this quick question: would you spend? Now there's reports or rumor happening that we're actually looking to strengthen the right wing position, right?
Okay.
Because we guess what, we have Sancho, we have
Anthony,
we have Pelestri, who is out on loan, we have Ahmad, who we're yet to see, who's just coming back from injury, and we're yet to see. But yet there's still reports linking us to saying that we need a right wing. Is it a case of you just rather, instead of spending 50 or maybe not of like 60, between 50 and 70 million on another right wing? That's if we decide to go that route, because we could actually go the route of maybe looking for something cheap that we can actually bring. Like, it's not super expensive, but they've got the talent, but maybe it's still raw, right?
Yeah.
So that's one option. Or we go for the 50 to 70 price tag, medium price tag wing,
Mhm.
or do we just take the best and cheaper option, which is get Greenwood back? You don't have to spend that much money, even 30 million. You don't have to spend on the raw material. You just get Greenwood back and channel that money that you want to spend on the right wing to other departments in the team. Would you take the third option, or you actually there's a different option you would want to take, or which of the three options would you want to take?
If I were a player playing that right wing at United right now, and we're still looking for a right winger, man, it's like then we're all useless. And it's telling, right, because we've not had a good right winger for a while now, right? And in that, when you see the big clubs, right, for example, using Liverpool as an example, they've had doesn't even when Mane went, they replaced him, right, with a decent player. Salah's been there for the longest time. If you look at the big teams, if you look at there are no talents out there. Again, marking down talent out there in the age bracket to replace him. If you look at teams like Bayern Munich, they have good wingers, right? We've always had wingers, which has been our core from the Salah Ferguson time, but currently we're lacking that. So if us going to get a winger, I'll probably say yes. I'll say fine. I think we need that though. But I think Garnacho currently is doing well. It begs the question: is Garnacho a left winger or a right winger? Because he seems to be doing like almost decent on the right wing. Now, should we bring Greenwood back? Honestly, for me, it wasn't guilty. I'll bring Greenwood back 100%. It's playing.
But Green. Okay. With the way Eric Ten Hag, I think I've seen this with the way Eric Ten Hag likes to play, right? Because he went for the likes of Gakpo, who could play across the front three, right? So now he's putting Garnacho to get used to the right wing. The other day we saw, big up yourself, man. We saw him shift. What's his name? We saw him shift. What's his name? Anthony to the left wing to play against the Wolves games, which we're going to talk about, right? We saw him put Anthony at the left wing. So we've seen him put Rashford at the right wing, right? So in my opinion, I feel like if you get Greenwood can play across the front three. Greenwood can play as the man leading the line. Greenwood can play on the left. Greenwood can play on the right. So, so for me, I would say if they have so much money in the bank, then they could do whatever they want to do. But it's only wise. And again, if you're going to be selling Greenwood out, you should be selling the Greenwood out and investing that money in the squad. Not the penny should go to the Glazers. Right.
I think they'll invest. I think if they sell them, they invest. Again, though, sorry to cut your apologies there. If we end up going for Mason, right? If we probably end up not bringing Mason Greenwood back, to me it's a shocker, right? Well, also two things that might happen to him, right? It will be a very toxic ground at United if probably comes back and play for us.
No, when you say toxic ground at United, toxic ground in terms of who and what?
The away fans, not our fans. Away players. If you see,
but it's always it will always be a toxic ground.
But no, I mean relating to that incident. Look at what happened with Real Madrid with which to me I was even shocked. Like why wasn't what's even with what's his name Jude
but it's not been confirmed that Jude actually said anything.
Honestly, for me, I can't. I went to the video. I looked at it and think, but a lip reader said he said it. But honestly, for me, I see it feels like he said rubbish because I don't think why would you do that? Honestly, to me,
maybe it's not as class as people think Jude is. That's the thing. We tend to see players like, oh, they should have one, and I see on the one hand I don't fault Jude, right? Because he has a thing in his head, but not everybody is sent. Not everybody would. Some people are actually applauding what he said if he said it. Others are like, why would you stoop so low to do something like that, right? So it feels like Jude is listening to whatever Jude is listening to. No one cares, right?
No, honestly, for me, right, I will bring
if the man in question when Jude said that, Greenwood even pay him no attention.
Mark, you're making
Greenwood
me
did
laugh.
not pay him attention. Greenwood just walked away from him. So if Greenwood let it today, did you see how he took on two people in the Getafe Betis game?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, sorry.
if that doesn't deter him, and he comes back, maybe a couple of weeks, or he might even take a season for some of our fans to actually want to embrace him wholeheartedly. But to me, the dressing room where he is, if there's love and support in that dressing room, no one cares. If there's love and support in that dressing room, no one actually cares. So that's how I say it. If Greenwood comes back and the likes of Rashford, Bruno, the team, even the coach and everybody's putting their arms around them, like, don't worry, we know what happened. We are here for you, right? If there is something, right, to make him feel at home, bro, the
Yeah,
man will deliver.
honestly,
It's
to me,
when those that you're working with don't show you the support or the love, then that's where you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm not going back.
honestly, for me, it's very sad. Though. It's very, very sad, right? That people just want to crucify someone. Like, for people make mistakes in life. People should understand this. People make mistakes in life. Like, even like in being a teenager at that time, making that mistake. Like, people make mistakes. And I don't know why people just want to crucify the kid for no reason. Like, they just want him to see him burn. Like, it should be, as in, his life should be finished. Like, nothing. There should be no hope. And to me, it's painful and it's sad. Like, honestly, right? They need to give the young, honest, as in, they need to give him a chance, a second chance. He's still young. Something happened. It's because sometimes, right, in life, something happens, right, and it doesn't go that deep, right? Somehow it doesn't turn out as worse as you can, and you're like, oh God, thank God, I will not do it again. And then you're like, you know what, let me focus back on my life, right? That's a second chance. I can't understand why people, like, you just want to finish and crucify a young man for no reason. As in, not something happened, I agree, but just forgive. And even the person is with actually has moved ahead. I don't know why some fans are still basically held back. To me, if the fan base was okay, I think Greenwood will be playing for United now. Was because United as a business scared of the backlash, scared of what they called of um would you guys have the same energy if it was Anna? No, honestly, yes. Imagine, to be honest, yes. For me, it's like if it's another friendly club, right? Honestly, because it's at the end. Let's leave
But
club.
Partey
Let's leave.
was accused of something like that, right? But I never for once did I even say he shouldn't come back.
Drex, let's leave club. Let's look at one thing. Humanity. Period. Let's leave club. Let's leave. Oh, I'm a United fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. Someone made a mistake. Let me say probably someone was caught stealing, right? Was caught stealing, and the owner said, "Okay, I will report you." And later withdrew the case because he felt, you know what, due to several things we don't know, the case was withdrawn. Now the person's like, you know what, I'm sorry, please, I apologize, as in, I apologize for everything. Would you still beat that person knowing, okay, they're taking the next step to basically rehabilitate and probably live a normal life? I don't think to me, I don't think like it's even humane to even do that, because everyone makes mistake. Myself, every single person makes mistake, right? So for one to just let's crucify the guy, even when this guy Mendy was going through that challenge at Man City, I was like, he has not been found and guilty, nothing at all. But basically, City just kicked him out. And at the end, he came back and it was basically vindicated. So even basically, if he had done it, he spent time probably in jail, right? Would we say, okay, you know what? He has done this, and he comes back and says, truly, I'm sorry, this is happened. It will never happen again. Should we say because he has done something once in life that we cannot give him a second chance? So it's, to me, it's tough. If it's anybody, like for me, anybody this happens to, it's tough, but I think everyone deserves a second chance. For me, I'll bring Greenwood back.
Me, for me, my opinion, as long as the case was dropped, I don't want to know what happened. Some people say he bribed his way out of it. Some people say the girl, whatever what happened, Stockholm syndrome, whatever it is, right? Some people went as far as saying there was some irregularities with the case or something like that.
Yes.
As long as the case was dropped, and I read I think I can't, I'll find it out and put it. Then the man actually said, whoever was speaking that day said he used the word he's a free man, right? That's it for me. That was where I was like, okay, But again, everybody's got the right to their own opinion, and everybody's got the right. So if the club, if Brasford, Ratcliffe, and the like says, yo, we're gonna take the heat, we'll bring you back. I'm with them. If they say, you know what, we can actually take this heat. We don't have the capacity to take this heat, right? We want to
Have the
move you
capacity.
on. I'm okay with them. It's not like I'm going to say no, they're making a mistake. No, I'm okay with them. I'm not the one that would say, oh, you're making a mistake, bring him on. Da 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 da. No, if whatever they decide, right? Because in my opinion, the minute that man made that statement and said he's a free man, I expected United to get an internal but just do for sure, get someone like an internal investigator for sure, and just do what you have to do and integrate the boy into the team. That's how I said, right? But they dragged their foot, and not let the fan base get to him, and he's been let go and all of that. New CEO comes in. Maybe the new CEO might be like, you know what? I don't want to get on the fans' backside. I don't want to get the heat or feel the heat from Omar. Like Omar Barada might be saying, I don't want to feel any heat, right?
Honestly,
So
I think
I'm going to
that's the way
succumb
it
to
may
the
happen.
fans. Yeah, but you should just be ready to succumb to the fan for a long time. But whatever it is, right? No, that's how it is. No, that's how
Yes.
United is. If you make a decision
Mhm.
that is in favor of the majority, wherever side, right? Wherever side you are on the coin, if you make a decision that favors the majority, if the majority are going for a kill and you favor them, just know the next time you keep favoring the majority, whichever side the majority is. That's how United fan base have been proving themselves to operate in.
But if you look at in Greenwood's case, apparently a majority of people want him back. A majority.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you now that whatever happens, if he decides to listen, that's what happened. Arnold decided to listen to the fan base, and he's faced it. Moto has pushed him in the firing line, and he's gone. Moto is still here. So I'm saying, pick up yourself, man. Big up yourself. So I'm just saying, whatever they decide, but for me, it only makes sense. They don't have the money, except they have money from somewhere. They don't have the money to actually start training around for another right wing. We have three, like you said, 3, 4 right wingers now. But if you want to move someone like Sancho on and maybe get a decent fee of 40, 50 million, yeah, you could move it on and reinvest that money, right? Also, we need a striker. We need not just one center back. We need actually two or three center backs. I would say two center backs, right? We need a ball carrying midfielder, and we need another defensive midfielder in to cover for Casemiro. Again, if they're gonna move Casemiro on, they invest the money. We still need another defensive cover midfielder to play to be to maybe not as good as Casemiro, but top notch. Like, you know what I mean? A cover for Casemiro. We need a right back, another right back. So if you're moving Aaron Bissaka on, then you can invest the money and get a good right back. But all of this will take money here and there, because we actually need a striker, not just Hoyland. We actually need a good striker that would share. I'm not saying displace Hoyland, but share the workload with Hoyland, right? So it is what it is, right? So I'm saying, for me, from the financial point of view, people might call me deluded, right? But it doesn't make sense to go carve out another 50, 60 million when you even have someone that you could just bring back into the team, except you want to sell him for good fee and make sure that said fee is invested in the spot he has created. He has left vacant. That's how I say. So let's just quickly touch about the Wolves game, because I know we don't want to take our time here. The Wolves game, I don't think I've gotten we've done What did you
Think about
make?
the Wolves game. So Wolves game. So no, I love the Wolves game. I love the because I can say anything. Everyone says Wolves, I think of Saeed and his reaction. He couldn't breathe because almost having a mini heart attack when we conceded 3-3. So the Wolves game. I know Mark is coming for me. I know he's coming for me.
Continue, Drax, because I'm coming for the two-all now. We're just coming for Tasha, but Drax is in the firing line now. Continue.
No, as in, no. So the Wolves game to me, that was a brilliant game. I think it's good for the
But that's a brilliant game. But the other day you were saying Eric Ten Hag one thing, almost let the game slip.
No. I said it's good for the neutrals. Right?
Oh, okay.
The game is good for neutrals. But what I'm saying is that right at I think is it 3-1? No, sorry, 2-1. We 2-1. We brought in Scott McTominay, right? And automatically I was like, man, damn, this guy. I'm not sure because so for me he will score. My concern was that we'll probably lose the midfield battle. That was my concern, right? Because it probably pushes a lot up, right? Let me shift my camera. That's divided. Okay. So it probably pushes a lot up. So in that, I was like, okay, he came in, he scored. But in that late scored, we were losing the midfield battle. We were losing midfield. It was to me, I felt it was way too up. I can send you a clip, right? Of one time we were defending, almost everyone was behind the ball. McTominay was waiting almost at the edge of our distance, right? So to me, you are the midfielder. You pick up your man. So not a witch hunt against McTominay, but I was concerned we're basically going to what they call lose the midfield because 2-1 you're bringing in McTominay taking out Casemiro. Automatically that's a bit of drop off in terms of quality. But again, the coach knows what he's doing, and if not for the brilliance, to be fair, of Kobe Meno, that game was a draw. So, but that's why I say it's a good game for the neutrals. Where I'll give Ten Hag kudos, it's not the Wolves game. It's today's game. Today's game, I'll give Ten Hag kudos because today's game, because the Wolves. I know why Mark is laughing. He's laughing because why? If we had scored our goals in the first half, we wouldn't have been in that situation. I'll probably have given Ten Hag kudos, but we didn't score our goals. Right. So, but today's game for sure, I'll give Ten Hag
I want to ask you a question there. If the chef puts the meal on the plate for you and you didn't finish the dinner, would you say it's the chef's problem, or would you say it was you that maybe it was overfood or lack appetite?
Okay, and I'll put that back to you. When something happens over and over again, does that become a one-off, or then it becomes a pattern?
The question is
because in the same thing. So the same thing you're asking me.
I'm saying
you're asking me
but you've not answered the question. You've not answered the question.
Hold on. The same thing. Hold on. The same thing you're asking me has happened over and over and over and over and over again, right? So automatically, if me not eating the food automatically means there's something wrong with finishing that dinner. There's something wrong with the dinner. That's why I'm not finishing it. So basically, there's an issue there which everyone, let's investigate why this person is not finishing the dinner. Is there something wrong with the dinner? It never finishes it.
And it's proved that it wasn't something wrong with the dinner. It's actually you that doesn't like to. Because
how can you prove now that it's not something wrong with it?
But how can you prove it's something
right now?
How can you prove it's something with the chef?
1 second.
No. You just said, right? There's no way you can prove
that question for you, Drax, to him.
Sorry,
right, Tash, I come to you now. I'm going to pose it to you in the simplest fashion, right?
From
you hearing me, Drax?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tash, you hearing me? Think about this, right, Tash? If it is, the question you ask, right, how you want to prove it, I want to prove it to you real simple, right? You are work 5 days this week, right? You're supposed to get to work for 9. Every day this week, you reach the work between that spectrum on 9:15 and 9:30. Right? Monday and Tuesday, you wake up late. Wednesday and Thursday, your car had to get gas. So you reach a little late. Now they say whether you're 5 minutes late, you're 15 minutes late, or you're 10 minutes late, you're still late, right?
Yeah.
Right? So think about it. Friday morning, you wake up early. Thursday night, you already put gas in the car. You reach the work on time. Everything went smooth for you on that day at work, right? Now, who's who at fault? Let me say your manager conduct an assessment at the end of the week. Where you go and tell them your work, whether or not you reach the work, late or not, you're a genuinely good worker.
Yeah.
If you reach the work on time, perfect worker, right? But 4 days this week, you didn't reach on time. For whatever reasons beyond your control. Is that your manager's fault or is that your fault?
Okay, so that's my fault, and let me answer you now.
See,
That's a very
right,
no. So that analogy. I want to come back to you.
Hold on.
Yes, I have an answer for you, though, boy.
If I was a goal scorer, if I was a striker or a winger, right, and I get into the box, I have an opportunity to score a goal, and 9 out of 10 times, I miss that shot, right? Who at fault? My coach or me? If 5 out of 5 times I miss the shot, who at fault? The coach or me?
At an instant.
No. I asked any question.
It's you at an instant. No, because you have to ask it clearly, right? Is it a pattern or is it an instant?
If I miss the shot 5 out of 5 times, who at fault? The coach or me?
No, you as
exactly.
As a player.
So that's not wait. So if we players creating chances, right?
Yeah.
And players who ended up on the final end missing the chances. Who at fault? The coach or the players who missing the chances?
The player,
exactly.
At an instant. No, I'm coming at an instant. Yes.
I rounded it off, right?
Yes.
I rounded it right off.
Yes.
Look at today, right? Everybody now, the whole hot take right now is the football not sustainable. Why? Because Martinez might be out, it's going to have a drop off, right? Okay, but here the argument: Ten Hag is not a good coach because he go and have a drop off, right? Right now, Pep is a good coach.
Yes.
Pep is a good coach.
Yes, yeah, good coach.
Arteta is a good coach.
Okay, it's also an okay coach.
Ange?
I don't know. I've not seen long data. I haven't seen long data. Yeah,
and
they haven't too much. So trophies, right? Trophies tells me you're a good coach or not, right? So that's it. Trophies.
So let me stick to Pep and Klopp, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Right? Maybe even Arteta?
No.
All right,
not yet.
Well, let's say Pep and Klopp, right?
Yeah.
Why Man City and Liverpool look so shit without 2 of the main starters on the field? Why? That's a simple question.
It looks so shit.
Why
when
without Rodri? Why is it okay? That's not simple. Why is it okay for Man City and Liverpool to lose without Trent or Van Dijk or Salah performing well or in the squad, right? Or Rodri or Kevin De Bruyne are not in the team? Why is it okay for them to have that drop off and not win games? But it's not okay for Erik ten Hag.
Hold on. Can I answer now? You've made everything.
Posing questions to you.
Okay.
We're going back and forth.
Okay, good. Let me answer. Let me finish the first part. You talk about the player's instance, right? In a work environment, in something, right, in where you're managing people, at an instant when something happens, that's an instant, right? And you as a person, you take responsibility. If an employee is doing a certain thing, right, and probably in a short while, you can probably say that's the employee's fault. And ask any leader, they'll tell you. And as the manager, you have to make a call. If the employee do something over a pattern, over a certain period of time, it now becomes a pattern whereby the manager makes a call and says, "Employee, do I drop you? Why do I drop? Or am I not teaching you the right thing? Or are you not good enough?"
Not necessarily. No, you see, the argument, right? No, that's not wait. Because here you're going into a technical field, going into an argument based on a technicality.
Direction on mute.
And here what I want to say about that technicality that you're going in on, right? And I go and iron it out just like this, right? We have the youngest attack in the entire Premier League, right? Check the facts. All in Europe, we have the youngest front three.
Yeah, I agree.
No matter how we switch them, we have the youngest front three, right? So for one thing, and I go and say this out now, all the United fans talking the shit that they was talking for the first half of the season about they seeing this pattern and they seeing that pattern and it's the manager's fault, right? his kids up front.
Can I say
the only man up front
hold
is
on.
Marcus Rashford?
Can
like I was telling Drex,
can I say
Drex
thing?
just now?
Yeah.
Let me finish. Like I was telling Drex, and Drex could say it. I tell Drex so much times, if Marcus Rashford have a good game, the entire team go play better.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
see it in the last 3 games. He have a good game, the entire front line go back. Whether he disappear or not, that first 15 minutes he play well.
Can I say one thing? So let me understand probably where you guys angle are coming from. My both of you trying to it's not, again, like I mentioned, I said Ten Hag, and which is evident, ask anyone that probably watch it again. He has made poor calls in the game. He has made
this game tonight.
So, you know what? Let's not this game tonight. I said let's not go into technicalities. From last season, right? Even when we're winning, if you can hold your shit and say we're playing well, then fine, man. That's what we were not even playing well last season. Even when towards the end of last season, we weren't playing well.
Last season wasn't really about playing well. It was about getting results. Therefore, I would never judge last season and then use it as a barometer.
Why is there always an excuse though?
No, it have no excuse there. You see, the reality is some people can't handle the truth. And the truth is what it is. It's simple. Just like that. There's no rocket science in this. It don't need to be, it's not complicated enough. Yeah. People is complicate things, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is this, right? It's not FIFA.
I want to ask Tesh one question. Can Pep use this squad to get anything?
Derek, let me ask you one question. You sound like you're looking like you guys are coming like Ten Hag out, I believe, at the point.
Not even.
I'm asking I just wanted
to compare and contrast because the argument that I hear in Tesh, right? Not from you alone, right? But from most of the everybody who's like, this is not sustainable, this, that, and the other. All the barometers, all the comparisons are with squads who either been together for 7 years under the same manager. They have the front line alone, average age is 25, right? Which means it's a more mature squad, a more mature attack. And each one of those teams playing in a system that suit every single player in the squad from the first 11 straight up to the first 4 substitutes or 5 substitutes, right? Now, when I look at Manchester United now, I know all the problems Manchester United have. And this is before Erik ten Hag come into the squad. This is the squad that he inherited, right? And when I look at the squad, I don't want to make excuses for Ten Hag because at the end of the day, reality is reality. If the manager needs to manage, he needs to up the levels of some players, those players that because he can't really polish a third. So some players will have to be moved on and replaced because that's mere factualism, right? Performance over the course of years, they're not doing all that well. They're not pulling up any trees. They're not at the level. Right now, there are some players in the team that not at the level either. But a lot of people talking about, let's give them a chance. Like they did something to earn a chance, you know? Now, at the end of the day, I watching football for like over 20 years. And in my honest opinion, 6 months is no barometer to judge a player, a team, a manager, to judge nothing. You want to know why? Because usually you don't never see the best football under any manager until the 3rd year in charge of any team. Go on any stat site and read up the information. You know, Moneyball, what Brighton is used, the system everybody talking about they want to have. Brighton have a system. You know what games one player have to play before Brighton make a decision on the player? 85. That's 3 seasons. And that's before they say the players are flop. That's before they start thinking of selling the player. 85 games. That is the development. That is I just explain it to you.
And Mark, I agree with you. Right? Whereby 6 months is not enough time. And honestly, to be fair, it's not enough time to judge someone. 6 months is not enough time to judge a manager. So, but again, I know you probably say Ten Hag's first year, it was told probably to just get result, not to play the game. But again, I don't know.
I mean, I would say that based on what I have seen, because like I'm not gonna say what I feel, because I mean I would have said to him, play your way.
And
play your style, don't give up anything, forget the results last season. Whether we come 10th, I was ready for it.
Yes.
Right? But that's not how it went. And I can tell Drex, I regretted 2 things last season. One, he played to get results. 2, Marcus Rashford scored 30 plus GA. Because those are 2 problems
so for
that
the same thing,
that
the
is
same
what
thing, yeah.
making the fan base toxic.
Yeah.
Because a player who, if you count the year before, the season before, and the season before that, wasn't really doing anything, and he wasn't really earning he was really about
Mark,
to be out.
Let me clarify one thing though. I'm not saying Ten Hag is a bad coach.
No.
I remember. Hold on, let me finish. I remember in our last video, I said, right, I'll give Ten Hag to the end of the season, and based on how he performs, you give him a contract or not, right? I said that's what I said in our last video where we had a Peter and everything. I said I will give him to last. I said I won't sack him now because no one to basically take him to take the place because basically it makes no sense. But I will then sack him now. I'll give him to the end of what they call the season before we make a decision. My concern with Ten Hag is the inconsistencies in how basically different situations are being handled from what they called from not just this season, from last season, from how I feel certain players are being what they called treated differently to other players.
That's not his problem though.
But again, but
let me be real.
But at the end, he is the manager.
I don't know if you might understand this, but in reality, this is how the world is work. The best is get better treatment than the rest. It's just reality, especially in sports. Now, and I go and say this much: people want to compare what Jadon Sancho do to what Rashford do.
No.
I'm just saying, not you. Some people are just saying, frankly, I don't care. I don't care what none of these fellas do in the private life, bro. I don't care whether they partying all night. All I care about is the performance on the football field. Because at the end of the day, as a fan, bro, I paying money to see football. I'm not paying money to say I don't own shares in Manchester United. You know what I mean? If I own A shares, it's my club. It's my favorite football club. That's what it is to me. And my wants is not always what the club going to do. I'm going to have to accept decisions that the club make regardless as I want it or not. Right? But at the end of the day, as a Manchester fan, and the biggest contradiction for me is saying, this is my club. I want this player, I want that player, and when that player flop, 6 months later, I want this player, I want that. Where's the money coming from, bro?
No, the thing is, when those players flop, it now turns toxic because if the player flops and is not getting game time, those fans that actually like to support players start throwing shades at the manager, at other people, because guess what? Their favorite player is not doing well, and like right now, some people are like, Bruno is flopping, right? Since we got him, now if you ask them why is Bruno flopping, they tell you because he loses the ball. But it was evident before we got him and when we got him that he's that type of player that will lose the ball. But because now people are looking at something different, right? They're like, oh, Bruno is flopping. So I feel like if you hold on to a player for too long and a player flops, then it now feels like you have to defend the player at all costs. You knowing fully well that it's not logical to defend the player because guess what? A player would rise and the player. That's why when I see Marcus Rashford's supporters actually going at defending him even when he's in his downtime, I'm like, what are you people saying? Tell us, acknowledge the fact that he's not performing at the moment, rather than be bringing, oh, but he did this last year. It did. So I can actually go as far as 2 years before and say, but he did shit 2 years ago.
So
on Marcus Rashford, bro, I was just saying everybody's I'm not saying that you're wrong, you know, bro. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. You know. All I just saying is this, right? Marcus Rashford played with 5 of the best strikers in world football, who was at one point in time, within 5 years, all was in the top 10 or top 15 currently playing football, right? And what is his numbers, his assist numbers? Less than 10 in a season, playing with 5 of the best strikers in world football. That alone is telling the problem Bruno's suffering from. That alone is telling the problem the strikers suffering from. That alone is telling the problem our offense is suffering from.
I think I've already said, as I said, if I say we have a cultural problem at the club, it's a deep-rooted issue at the club now. Probably be what they call it, players playing for what they call it, publicity, playing for their brands. At the end, right, like I always said, no player is bigger than United. Going back to my only issue with Ten Hag is I don't have a single player I like in the club. No one. No, if I'm buying a jersey, I'm buying just my jersey, a blank jersey. I don't have one single preferred player. My most preferred player left a long time ago. Cristiano Ronaldo, way young ago. Yes, he left it way in is it 2000 or what they call it? Is it 10 or so? When he left United, so that it was my preferred player. Outside that, right, I'm just basically a United fan. What I'm saying for Eric Ten Hag, right, if again, which again is one could also argue, and it's true, several things are out of his control. Right, several things, right, in terms of even how to manage, right, to an extent it's not allowed to manage, and probably that's why I can say, okay, I can probably pull back and say that's why I see inconsistencies in how he treats different players, because why there are several influences that are affecting what they call his decision. That's why my only color with Ten Hag Mosso basically is the inconsistencies on our players are what they call are being what they call.
See, this is the question I'm trying to get you to answer, which a lot of people is be saying, and I always ask them the same thing. But there's always kind of say the inconsistencies and differences and whatever. What inconsistencies with what players? Like I hear fans saying, Diallo deserve to get minutes. What has he done to deserve minutes?
That's not what
I hear people saying Hannibal Mejbri. Not you. I'm just saying. I'm putting it. Hannibal Mejbri deserve to get game time. What has he done but get yellow cards game after game and look like a complete irrational person on the field? Like you score a goal, we losing 3-0. You score a goal and you jumping up and down. Now, if that didn't speak volumes to football fans who is football fans, for me, from the moment I see that, I already know in my mind he is on the way out of this club. Because that is not the mentality of a United player, bro. You don't celebrate a goal 3-1 down, whether it's your first goal or not. That is 100% a disappointment for me in mentality there. Right? Now, he might have a lot of talent. And that's true. It's just for me, I just sorry to see that he's so ignorant to certain facts. Because he's overly aggressive and reckless.
Yes.
And that is hamper his ability, is take away from all his ability looking good in the field. And then his attitude is a problem. So I can see why he never used to get game time, because he had a bad attitude.
Let's just see. Like what somebody mentioned, I think it was there's a cultural problem at the club. And I feel like until that cultural problem is sorted out, right, it's going to be difficult for even the cream de la cream of managers to actually succeed here. Because because let's say, for example, Pep wants to bench a player, and Joe and the likes on Joe and Abraham say, no, you can't be doing that. Or Moto is telling the club wants to sell a player, and Moto is saying, no, you're not going. Right? Pep would wake up on Monday and walk, and everybody would be happy, right? All of us would be happy, like, yo, yes, he did it. Pep walked, right? This manager left his position. But guess what? There's somebody else that's going to take it and accept those terms. Now, Klopp said he didn't want to come to this club because he felt like he was a circus, right?
Respect.
No, good. Now, the same club went to Liverpool and spent 4 years before he could actually win it. 4 years. So it's sometimes we say, okay, it's the manager. Get rid of this manager. Get another manager. If the club had done what Mourinho wanted them to do that time, even if they had sacked Mourinho, but they had listened to Mourinho and adjusted the culture of this club in terms of reduce the player power or take it to zero, right? Right now, we can be saying, so those that are saying Ten Hag is not good can actually be saying it from a place of, okay, everything is nice and rosy at the back scene. But right now, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, fine, you guys have a point by saying Ten Hag is this, Ten Hag is that, right? But everything is not good at the back of the scene. So,
yeah,
because what's his name? Ralf Rangnick came, right?
Wow.
And Ralf Rangnick said a lot of things, right? Even before he knew, because he still felt like he was going to get the consultancy role, right? He still, honestly, when Ralf Rangnick was talking that time, he still felt like it was going, but Moto just felt like, oh, when Ralf Rangnick was talking, Moto was making points, was jotting down points. In his head, he's gotten enough from Ralf Rangnick in terms of the
ideas.
Wisdom, the ideas. Like, this guy's my consultant, right? I'm going to be consulting this guy, but he's already spilling the beans. Okay, let me just make a note quickly. Then I toss him out. I'm like, so if that's what we want, right? I still don't think, like me, at one point I said Ten Hag should wake up and just resign, because the whole culture, there's something definitely brewing at the back of the scene that it's not making managers work to the best of their ability. So we cannot really say this manager is bad or this manager is not bad, right?
Fair enough. Yes, I agree.
So I'm saying, I was even saying, but
point.
people are like, oh, nobody just wakes up one morning. There's they have families to feed. They have to prove a point. They have to prove to the world and make sure that they did all their best. It shouldn't look as if, because if he resigns now, we know United, they will coin out a story and say, oh, it wasn't good with one. United will talk to the media to bring something negative about Ten Hag, and they will work with it, right? That's what I'm saying. For now, for me, before we put the final axe on whatever is happening, before we even judge and say take him up a notch, right? Because he's there. It's either he goes here or he goes up. So for me, leave him here before I even decide to take him up there or bring him down there. Let me see. Let's give him what every other manager has got in the Premier League. Let's give him what the managers in the Premier League, the likes of Arteta. Arteta's got time, right? The likes of what's it called, the other guy's name? Pep got time and he's been delivering. Pep did not come into the league and started winning the league immediately. No. Klopp did not come into the league and started winning the league. 9 years is one. 8 years or 9 is one, right? So these people have gotten time, and they've gotten not just time, they don't have the toxicity we have. One, they don't have the lack of structure we have. Two, and they have the patience which we don't have. You see what I'm saying? So these three things, we don't have it. But yet we want miracle. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like we don't have. We have a lot of toxicity.
Yeah.
We don't give managers time. We don't have structure. But guess what? We want to lift a big profit. Like
I need to be fair, and again, what you just said basically is what's happening at United, right? And that's why, if we look at it from a what they call a perfect view, right? That's why you can sit back and say, you know what, you can't really blame Ten Hag to an extent, because there's a lot happening. There is a lot happening at the background. Because if you look at before, Mourinho said, my biggest accomplishment was to come out second to Pep, and to me, then that statement looked a bit weird, right? Probably for the media. Well, when you deep it, right, it might have him a point. Now I don't know exactly his point, but he might.
No, but let's cast your mind back. LVG said something damning about them. Mourinho came and said, me winning, coming out second, is the best thing I've done in my like he was actually saying the best thing I've done, like rather than like he equated it to almost winning the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Now, Ole came out after Ole left and said there's a lot of things that he made mention of how he wanted the player, but say you're going to have only 3, meaning that there's so Ralf Rangnick has come out. We therefore know for sure, by calculation, and if you put all the permutation and combination, we know if they sack Erik Ten Hag and he's allowed to speak, there's something he's going to say, right? So, and if we get in another manager, let's say we get in the likes of a De Zerbi or Emery or even a young promising manager from Porto or Sporting Lisbon, right?
Relegation.
Those guys will fold.
No, there's one thing I have to agree. I don't see any manager that can help Man U right now. That's honestly, I have to agree. I don't see any. That's why for now, I'm just okay. Ten Hag is the only one I actually see now. Right? That probably, I'm hoping it does.
Like what somebody said on Twitter. Let me just.
I love you guys, but talking about Erik Ten Hag being sacked, in my opinion. Hold on. All right, cool, gone. Yeah. Talk. Continue, Jax.
So what I'm going to say is, what I'm about to say is, in my opinion, right? They just like what somebody was saying on Twitter. He said, allow Ten Hag to clean up this mess, right? Allow Ten Hag to be the one. Now that we're going to get Jim Ratcliffe, allow Ten Hag to be the one to, if he's not going to take us there, allow him to be the one to set the ball rolling, so that the next manager that's coming in, right? Because Ten Hag came. And I even give him kudos. Ten Hag came when they actually deceived a grown-ass man. This club deceived Ralf Rangnick to the point of okay, take it, because nobody wanted to take the interim job. Okay, know what? Take the interim, we'll give you this, right? But they deceived him, right? And Ten Hag still took the job. So I'm saying let Ten Hag do whatever, they clean up the mess and let there be a cultural reset, setting up the standard, right? Then you cannot bed in the new guy. If there's going to be a new guy, you cannot bed him in. Because, bro, if the likes of Rashford are still going to be here, right?
I want to trust the United leadership on Ten Hag, honestly. Sorry, to the United leadership moving forward, like probably the Omar Berrada, the Sir David Bradford, trust them, right, to make the right calls, right? I think if they actually make the right calls, we should be fine. And I think if they look deep it and say, what do we want in a manager? And if Ten Hag fits that, and Ten Hag, like I said, I don't see anybody else that probably can
even talking about that makes no sense to me. Like what they want in a manager. Bro, Ineos don't know nothing about football. I don't know why people talking that shit, that rubbish. It's like,
but I think the people that they're bringing,
the people that are bringing knows about football.
Deep it like this, right? The sample size that you all have a problem with is 6 months. The sample size that he has been performing at a high level as a United manager with the records he set for the amount of wins in the space of time he's been as a manager is a bigger sample size. So basically, you want to divide with a larger denominator, right?
But Mark, I'm not saying Ineos is making a decision. Bro. I'm saying Omar Berrada being a CEO.
Omar Berrada, this is why I talk to you guys and men doesn't be listening properly, you know. Omar Berrada was the one who was propping Ten Hag to Citigroup when they was looking for a person to replace Pep. Bro.
That's what we're saying. Right? If he thinks he's the right person, then yes.
Berrada, people thinking, Omar Berrada is gonna get the guy from Girona.
No.
Omar Berrada has the manager he was trying to prop to Citigroup, bro. Like, look at that fact there.
I like to look at it. I like to look at it from this angle. We went to meet Omar Berrada. That's how I see it. I'd like to look at him. It make me feel good, right? We went to meet Omar Berrada. We want you for the CEO job, right? And Omar Berrada is looking at, they already have one of my agent in terms of one of the person I would like to work with. They already have him in place. And they are promising me that I'll be the one to bring the other guys, right? Like the director of football and the recruitment head and all of that, set things in place. They will give me so much power to do all of that, the football and restructuring thing. And he already has one piece of the puzzle in place, which is Ten Hag. So in my head, okay, that could, because I know he was one of the persons that actually was saying, remember when it was between Ten Hag and Posh? You remember when it was between Ten Hag and Posh? People were saying, get us, media were saying Posh, right? A few persons were saying, get Ten Hag now, because if you don't get him, for sure he's going to City. Right? And even Thierry Henry actually said he actually told Barcelona to go see how they can get Ten Hag from Ajax. So my question, when I hear people sometimes, when I just sit and I'm like, so
Mark, I think Mark replied without even listening to me. I said,
no, I did. I replied with listening to you.
I said, Mark, can I finish? Can I finish?
I'll let you finish.
Okay, let me finish. I said, a director of football, a CEO comes in and he can make a decision. Now, if his decision already is say, okay, Ten Hag is my guy, then fine. All I'm saying is that he comes and says, okay, you know what? Okay, I've this who I'm taking. Okay, I'm looking at them. Ten Hag, director of football, and they're agreeing. Ten Hag is our guy. Then fine.
I feel like you're missing my point, because I understand your point. I just trying to say to you this: maybe that is not even a topic of discussion or a thought process. Huh?
No, he's saying maybe it's not a topic because in his mind, Omar Berrada already has his mind.
I'm asking why won't it be a topic? I think we are missing the point there.
Because football don't operate.
No, Mark, that one I would disagree with you 100%.
On emotion.
No, I would disagree with you. Because I would disagree with you, man.
Because you disagree. That's fine that you go and disagree. I'm not saying I'm right. What I'm just trying to explain to you, from the length of experience I have watching football and being in and around football, it don't work so.
It don't work so for you to come in and say, I already have in mind.
The only club in the history of football it ever worked like that for was Chelsea, my brother. I don't know what part of football you watching, but clubs Big clubs, they don't hire and fire, right? Like that. When they and I just want to draw an example. We've seen the failure of hire and fire over and over and over. Top clubs which have taken that approach, where are they now, bro? Where are they now? They are all languishing, bro, in mid-table and below.
You know what?
Right? All the clubs, I'm just explaining something to you, my brother, because I am not disagreeing with you. Usually when a new ownership comes to a club, in most circumstances,
have to review everything.
They review everything, but usually when that ownership comes to the club, right? You don't know this. You see, you're thinking it about from the simple perspective, and I have to say simple.
It's not Listen,
simple. Let me finish before you say it's not simple. Because I could count, if I was to tell you, out of the 25 clubs that changed ownership in the last decade, only 10 of them changed managers, right? Right? And if I was to tell you, of the 15 that did not change, 5 of them are more successful than the 10 who have changed. Would you think that's up? Would you believe that?
Let me hear question.
No, I just ask
no,
you.
All I'm saying, I know this is an argument. All I'm saying is this. It comes in as a CEO, we'll review everything, even the coach, which to me I think is normal for every organization. I can't just come and say, I can't come and say, coach, I can't come and say, coach, you are fine. I'm not reviewing your case.
I just want to tell you on our business term, if you're looking at it from business and economics, Ten Hag in the green, far over in the green than he in the red, bro. And that's the reality of it. The ratios don't add up.
Even if Ten Hag is the best,
the sample size
is still reviewed.
You're not listening to me. Even under the review, like, all right, let me put it like this. If I was to do a statistical review of Erik Ten Hag now, he would still be in the green, not in the red.
Are you reviewing or not? You're reviewing, right? You will review. I'm not saying it's bad.
You see, there's a simple, understand what I'm saying? He already have a review. The reviews are continuously going process. It have data analysts running on performances from the start of the season till now. It didn't stop in. So he just pulling up the updated analysis based on the Opta stats. There's the performance stats here, sir. Yeah. So you acting like if a review is not something that always happening and they don't just pull the information. It's like an audit, bro. It's like in the bank. The bankers do a review every single day at all transactions.
Yes.
And at the end of the week, they still do a review of the whole week transactions. Yes. But it already up to date Friday, you know. But they just double checking, right? Because already prepared.
Isn't that the same thing I'm saying?
No, it's not really the same, because if you have an optical stat that's telling you that you performing well already, right? You just doing the extra because it's work to be done, bro. Like at the end of the day, they could say what they want to say. That don't mean their statistical review include Ten Hag. That don't mean, and even if it was reviewing Ten Hag, it might not include the thought of sacking him. It might include the thought of changing stuff.
I think what Mark is trying to say is, what if they've already said to themselves, Brasford, what's the other guy? Brasford, what's the other guy? Brother, and there's a third person.
Yes.
There's a third person. It's not Ratcliffe. There's a third, Claude, right? Jean-Claude. What if they've had their conversation and said, okay, we're going to give this guy to the end of the season?
I already talked about end of season.
Sorry. You're going to give him his end of his contract. I mean, sorry. I didn't mean to say season. I meant to say it. So that's what Mark is trying to say. So like you're right to say they've already reviewed it. Because by even talking about it, they've reviewed it.
So the same thing you're saying, I'm saying. I am saying, regardless if he's the best in the world, he will still be reviewed whether or not. Simple.
Yeah, but that's not the point I'm making.
Like, what is different?
If you'll be reviewed or not. I don't understand why you arguing that point. Because nobody arguing that. You alone.
What
I'm saying.
You're the one saying.
I'm saying
saying that.
No, listen. You are saying, I'm saying this, right? Just as much as you think because a new CEO come in, they would be reviewing him to sack him. I'm just saying to you.
No.
Listen, bro. Listen.
Okay, wait, Mark, that's where you're getting wrong, because he did not say review to sack. He said they will just
even if review him regardless.
Review, so they're going to review and say, we're going with this guy, or we're not going to go.
As far as I'm concerned, right? And this is just me, right? If our manager change style and change the way I play style, right, in our season, right, there's obviously going to be games where you're going to lose. There's obviously going to be up and down performances. There's obviously going to be, a lot of bad performances in between. So for me, I just saying this as a person who, you know, work professionally with people. If you already know a situation could be going bad, and at best it might be good, then why would that be a bad thing? Why would that affect Ten Hag in terms of his performance as a manager? Now,
Guys,
you see, the
wrap
bigger
up
thing
this
is,
show.
the bigger question is not only on Ten Hag. Now, I get that he has not made great decisions because, and I would put it out like this, some managers, they make some risky substitutions because they try to change things. Sometimes it might go good, sometimes it might go left. And sometimes if it goes left, it goes left. They have to live with the decision that they made. But the reality is, not because our manager don't play a player that we would like to see, means he make a bad decision in the substitution that he made, especially when the team win the game, right? So, in my honest opinion, I would just say that, look, a lot of people reviewing things based on the fact that they don't like this player. They think this player not good enough. They think that player better. They think this player should get a chance. No, I'm not saying you, I'm saying a lot of people, because Jax, you know what I mean, bro. Every day we just be hearing it, bro, right? Now, there's another thing I just look at, right? The drop-off. People say, well, yeah,
That's what I want to talk about, but I think we're going to talk about that in another show. That why does it look like when we don't have 1, 2, 3 players?
It's quality, right? Quality.
It's quality, but Man City suffering from the same thing. Liverpool, Arsenal. But people acting like it's such a big deal because we are Man United, my brother. And you know what? They knew about these players before Ten Hag come here. That's the biggest get me upset.
No, I know. And again, 100%, Mark. I agree with you. I'm not sure what we spent the last 5 minutes after.
Guys,
I agree with you. But in like you're right, Ryan. You're right. What I was saying, in essence, is even the best employees in this world get reviewed. Oh, you did best. You did good. Okay, next thing. That's all I was saying. It will still be reviewed. Not that it will be sacked. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. The best employees get reviewed, right? So
on today's game, though, I would have to say, for me, like I've been telling Drex, I've been seeing little good snippets from game over the last 10 games, even from the beginning of the season, little improvements here, little improvements there, little improvements there. And for me, it's starting to culminate into better performances. Is how I could put it. Right?
I just feel like the fact that we didn't get a striker in the January, not even this one, the January transfer window, another striker, right? It just puts like it's puts in there. It's gonna catch us, if you know what I mean. It's gonna get at us before the end of the season.
Maybe
if Ireland gets injured.
Except Ten Hag does this whole thing where after like 60, 70 minutes, right, he pulls Ireland out, right?
Bro, and listen, it's one game a week, you know. I don't see why people even thinking it like that, you know, bro. That's a mad scene. One game a week, bro. We don't have no Champions League. We don't have no set of
true though, because when Champions League starts, some other teams like
bro,
teams
all
like
them
Arsenal
teams
and Liverpool start having issues.
We have
right?
one game a week.
Did Newcastle go to Europa League? No, I don't think so.
No, Newcastle out, bro. They finished bottom of the group, bro.
Yeah,
so guys,
if it had 8 8 of the lowest finishers, United would have finished ahead of them because United scored more goals. Twice as much goals.
So one game a week. Okay, let's just see what the remaining half of this season will bring. I just hope that everything goes well, guys. If you're just tuning in, we're about to wrap. We're wrapping up this show in about 1 minute. In about a minute. It was the week that was where we had to look back at what happened the past week, right? Like I said, we looked at AFCON, where we talked about the African Cup of Nations, the teams that have progressed to the semifinals. We talked about the transfer window, which was short. We came short, I think, on the first. We had a lot of players going up, Beno Ings, and wish we knew we should have gotten a striker, but it is what it is. So most of us said if we didn't get the striker, the heavens will not fall down. It's one game a week. We'll leave and they reassess this in the summer, and it's not a big deal, right? It's not really a big deal. Let's not cry over anything. So we also looked at the Wolves game, right, and saw that we improved a lot of things from the Wolves game. We improved in this game, right? But now going forward, we want to see much improvement. We want to see like for me, if we can't improve on this performance, at least we should maintain maintain this one to the end of the season, and let's keep getting the win. And next game is Villa. I hope that by the time we're dealing with the next week, the World Episode 5, we'll be having a lot of smiles on our faces as to how the game went.
Sorry,
Tej.
So before you go, sorry, apologies here. I just want to quickly touch on. It's a guy with everyone loves, but he's not doing so well though. Probably just a minute if your thoughts. Van der Beek on his loan. What do you think is going on there?
He's not getting game time, you think?
No, I think they're actually saying it's not actually up to it.
I think it's not up to it.
Between their game against Mainz, so that 1-0, they're winning. They took him out at the first half. I think they were more so. I think they're a bit concerned about what they call his level. It's level, yeah. They're a bit concerned about his level. Van der Beek. So it's
no, but Tesh, remember you used to say. Tesh, remember you used to say most of these players at Ajax were more of a system player.
You say it's not accurate. Check this in. I saw the news on what they called.
Well, you see, the thing is, what I could tell you that is because but he's an Eintracht Frankfurt fan, so I was supposed to go to the game. He was at the game, you know. His fitness. He had an injury in training. You understand?
Okay.
So he came off because they wasn't sure about his fitness levels because of the injury that he had in training. So that's why I say it wasn't accurate. It's not that the way they pose it.
They didn't put everything
based on his personal fitness, but he had an injury. He picked up an injury in training before the game because in my honest opinion, my buddy he's watched Eintracht every single game and he was like, "Yo, Van der Beek came in and he made a difference in the team."
I think he started the game, but they took him out after halftime. From what I understand.
Because he had an injury in the pre-warm up to the game. So, you know, in all fairness, I don't think is something negative on Van der Beek. It's not like if the coach come out from the club and say, "Listen, this player not going to get any game time. I have to sit him down on the bench, suspend him for some, you know, in club-related reasons or whatever the case is." It's not like if it's Hannibal Mejbri. So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I hear that, but you know, for me, like I've been real honest, like that had nothing to do with Manchester United, have nothing to do with Erik ten Hag. He didn't buy that player. You understand? And I'm tired of fans.
And to think that he's the one that actually sold the player out.
I feel for him, don't like to.
Guys, we're gonna
listen. Last season was Donny's chance to get his game time and prove his worth to the club. Right?
Injuries have not been his best friend.
This club have a problem, and the biggest problem about this club is the favoritism for the English core. Right now, as a United fan, we must have an English core. But we probably have the worst English core in the history of United. You know what I mean? Like these fellas in dependable. One always injured. The next one, well, he does only turn on when he on. As like, you know, one day a month, you know, sometimes one year, every other year. So for me, I just look at it one way. At the end of the day, it has caused us to have situations where we don't get the right players in because, you know, there's some protection for those players. So they wouldn't let players come in the club to compete with them. The only how they will get competition is if it grew from inside already. That's the only one they can avoid. So, you know, in my honesty, is like we gotta take it for what it is right now. In this moment, United are not the United of old, guys. We are trying to get back to that situation. And I don't know if you guys have 7 minutes if you all would like to watch the post-match press conference. It's only 7 minutes long.
Bro,
Erik ten Hag had spoken.
I'll watch it. Just send me the link on WhatsApp. I'll watch it on WhatsApp.
Yeah, so y'all should check it out. I mean, it's on the Manchester website, so I don't know if y'all... Right, so, you know, just go on the website. It's there. It's 7 minutes long, and I argue everyone to take a look at that post-match press conference. I have it up on my channel if you want to check it out. I did a stream on it a few hours ago. Called, you know, you would see highlights of the game. In there, I played the full press conference where the manager was speaking, and he was saying word for word, like, you know, guys, don't get giddy. It's just one game. You know, it's not really to celebrate about. We are pleased by the performance, but we need more. You know, United are doing good, but we are not there where we want to be, right? This is our exact words from Erik ten Hag mouth, I'm telling you right now. You know, he literally said to people, listen, you've seen what we can do now. You've seen the potential, but none of you all had faith in me. None of you all believed. This is what he said to the press tonight, right? And he let them know, listen, the plan was always for the youth. You see the three guys who were sitting now on top of the banner in the picture? Rasmus, Kobe, Garnacho, they were always the plan. The plan was always to go with the youth. He says the future is dark because we need to change because of mistakes that they made previously. So now we have to get right now. So this is our project, which means if you listen to him, if you listen to our press conference, you understand that he's saying, listen, this performance today is what we use with what was expecting to be the basic performance. This is not the best that this squad could do.
More like the baseline.
The squad still have a lot of improving to do because the routines are coming. Look, even Harry Maguire played today, bro, and I argue with you, our defense was better than when Varane started against Wolves.
No, ask Drex. Maguire is my
right.
Maguire
and now
has improved.
Everybody would jump on Bruno, but Bruno had one of the best games today that he had in a long time. He might not get a goal,
That's true,
but
though.
he had an assist. And people want to chop up Bruno about the man had 2 missed passes all game. The third pass, I would argue, if Rashford was actually controlling the ball well, it would not bounce off him and the player would not get like 10 feet away from him.
Well, Mark, Rashford tried today, though. He played well today.
No, but he had a good game. And now, listen, as much as I critical of Rashford, I always say, it is imperative that he has a good game because he is the talisman. You don't understand what I'm saying? Like, if we had if he is not in the club would find a new talisman. The players, one of the players eventually would step up to be that talisman. When Ronaldo was here last season, the season before, right, in 21-22 season, he was the talisman. When we needed to win a game, he come up with a hat trick 4 times. When we needed to win a game, he come up with a brace 6 times.
Yeah, I
agree. And when I want to talk about Marcus Rashford for me,
let's take this
he scored 17 goals when Ronaldo at 37 scored 26 in the Premier League. Man, mad, bro.
Mark's passion is running high now,
guys. We've come to the end of today's show, guys. Just please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe if you haven't. We're on the road to 70 subscribers. We're 63.
When is the Nigeria South Africa game?
68, I believe. So, 68. That's good. I think it's February 7th. The game Nigeria versus that's on Wednesday.
Semi-finalists?
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
It hurts. I'm at work. I can't watch it.
So, guys,
just beat South Africa, bro. Don't want to see Bafana.
Just keep it locked down on this channel. We will be doing the watch along for that game. That's what Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I should be able to do the watch along. If I'm not, Mark might just take over. But yeah, until we see you guys again, just take it easy.
Boy, go do the Bafana well.
Just take it easy with yourself. Have a blessed night, and I'll have a good morning wherever you're watching. And if this video comes on your timeline, please leave a comment. Tell us what you think, what's your take on all what we've discussed today. Or if there's something you want to see,
feedback
just give us a feedback, right? You don't worry about if it's negative or positive. Just give a feedback. Feedback is
a blessing.
Thank you so much for don't forget to share this video if it comes across your feed. Share it, give it a like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. Until we see you again, it is peace and love from us. Have a good night.